when we started the business, we thought we're going to be in there forever and just doing the same thing over and over. But now we learned that you have to look at the exit strategy.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon Dawson and welcome to another episode of the B. Dawson Show, where I interview business owners who want to go from 1 million to 10 million, 10 million to 100 million, or 100 million to a billion. Today, I'm really excited to have one of my favorite dentists in the world, Janice. Janice, introduce yourself and tell everybody where you're from.
Yes, my name is Janice Dawn, and I'm from San Diego, California.
That's awesome, and you're a dentist.
I am a dentist.
Explain what all you do in your practice.
Yes, I run a company with my sister called A+ Family Dentistry, and we currently have 3 locations out of San Diego. And basically, we do everyday dentistry from filling, crown, but we love to do mostly like transformation cases like Invisalign, cosmetic dentistry, and anything to help patients have remarkable oral health.
That's awesome. And so what got you into dentistry in the first place?
That's a great question. My sister and I grew up in Vietnam. So growing up in Vietnam, we didn't have any dental care. We barely have any, toothbrushes until we came to America when I was 11. And my sister was about 16 going to 17 years old. So coming to America, we have a lot of dental issues. We have no dental care in Vietnam. So, like going to school, we have like really bad teeth. Our teeth was like yellow color, black because of cavity. So I remember going to school and having to go to the dental clinic right after school with my siblings. And we would just sit there and wait forever until it's our turn to get the dental care we need. So growing up, we have a lot of struggle with our oral health because we didn't think it was important growing up. And our parents never educate us, and we had a lot of pain going through that process. And I remember I wanted to do something different to help, people like myself to have a better, different experience than what we went through.
How amazing is that? So you come here, and because of poor oral health in Vietnam, you wanted to fix that for yourself and your family, and that got you inspired to become a dentist.
Yes, exactly. Because, like school was really tough. Like I didn't do good grade, even though I was smart. But I was just very not confident, and I was just very introverted because of how I look and how I felt.
Wow. So you go and learn dentistry.
Uh-huh.
And now at some point you decide, I want to have my own dental practice.
Yes.
So how long ago was that?
That was about 12 years ago. My sister started dental school, and then as soon as she finished her last exam, she got her space that she wanted to open the dental office. And I remember she didn't even have her license, and she already had this space. And so we were just like, okay, we're going to do it. She doesn't know anything about owning a dental practice or doing the dentistry just yet, and she just jumped right in. And so I was going through that journey with her, and I knew that I wanted to follow her footsteps as well. So I got into the same school she did, so we have the same teacher, and then just basically joined her as soon as I got my license.
That's awesome. Now, how did we meet? Because I think I was like September 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think I was in a meeting with our AMI partnership and all their chiropractic regenerative medicine clients in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I think you DM'd me or
Yes.
something and said, hey, I want to come by. You're in town. I want to come by and introduce myself to you.
Yeah. So I follow Grant Cardone, and I know that I met you out on his boat for his birthday, actually.
Oh.
So it was in Miami, and then you and I spoke a little bit, and I got to know Natalie, and she was mentioning about dental space. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. So then we kind of kept in touch, and then basically when I saw that you and her were in San Diego, which is right close to where I live, so I was just like, let's try to meet up and get to know each other a little bit more.
That's crazy. And you came in with your 10X gear on. I think you had your son with you.
Yes, I couldn't find anyone. It was like a last minute thing. And so I didn't have anyone to help him. So I just brought him with you to meet
fun.
you.
Yeah. So you guys, when we met and we obviously liked each other, we enjoyed working together. You knew that
Yes.
we had extensive knowledge on and about dental,
Yes.
and so we started working together probably a couple years ago now. When you look
Yes.
at and you guys have been to all of our events and you go to our training programs and walk a little bit through what's happened with the practice in the last couple years for people that are like, what do these people do to help you? Walk the
Yeah.
audience through kind of from your experience what we've been doing to help you guys.
So you have a very specific great skill, which is growing and scaling business, and we wanted to partner with you to kind of learn how to do that for our own practice. Even though we had 3 locations already, we have our own struggle of like hiring the right team member, how to scale our business, how to make the process easier and simpler so anyone can just come in and do that. So we went to your 10x 360, got the overview of what's going on, and then from there we like, I kind of learned the principle, but how do I do it? So we were like, okay, so what's the next step? So we signed up for the platform review. So for the next 6 months, we gather all the information for the business. So then that way we can put together a plan for the next 10 years. And then from there, we went to the workshop for the business summit, which include the people workshop, the marketing workshop, and now I'm in the finance workshop. And that helped me to dive in more in detail on the different aspect of my business that I can help enhance and lead better. On top of that, we do the 10X owner call, the roundtable call each week, as well as the BMLP.
Yeah,
which
you're
is,
in our leadership program.
Yes, we in the leadership program. Yep. And so now we also in your SBU, which is the strategic business unit, which we trying to grow to the next step.
You basically just described our whole
Yes.
company and you've done everything.
Yes, sir.
What has happened with the business since you guys started working with us?
Yes, so as far from the revenue aspect, we started probably about 4 million between the 3 offices, and now we're on target of about shy of 8 million.
8 million, so a double.
Yes.
What would you say to people when they go like, I can't believe you go to all those events, you spend all that money, you go all in with us. And there are other advisors and consultants in the dental space, and you've worked with them in the past.
Yep.
What would you say to those people that just don't understand all the growth you guys have gone through in the last couple years?
So definitely in the dental space, there's a lot of different coaches, a lot of different consulting company, and they each help you in a specific way. What I like about working with you and your team is that it's on a bigger scale. How to read through our belief system, because our mindset, we didn't think we can go to from like 4 million to 50 million
Yep.
a year revenue. But through the platform, you show us our blueprint of how to get there. And so that was just like eye-opening for me. I'm like, can we do that? How do we do that? Right? So just able to show me that I can do that really inspire us to do more.
That's awesome. And then you guys, as you educate yourself and you start working on developing your team, and you're on my weekly calls,
Yes.
and you're on my leadership weekly calls, so you're in 2 different programs.
Correct.
And so you're able to discuss like, hey, we're finding people, how do we get them engaged with the business? How do we hold them accountable? How do we drive them to a higher level of success? You're literally, while you're building your business, you're being educated and helped stack the right people in the right place doing the right thing. What does that feel like to start to develop a team around you that starts doing the heavy lifting with and for you?
It feels amazing. It feels like you have someone in, that back you up and have your back. So when we go through like the different conferences or when we out the office, we don't feel as worried and, micromanage.
Yeah.
So we let the team do what they know how to do, and we just let them run with it. So I feel like our life get a lot easier as far as like not a lot of stress, having more trust in the process itself, and letting our team lead, which we know they capable of. So now giving them that responsibility and they stepping up.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about like before you had this newfound understanding of how businesses should work, and you now have targets and specific growth strategies and all this support to help you. What was the hardest thing being in business that you and your sister encountered?
Um, well, the hardest things, I mean, for us, it's a lot easier when we have each other,
Yeah.
so we can always bounce idea and things together. But the hardest thing is just doing it alone. I think that like while we know that we want more, we don't really know how to get there and who to do it with and what component the priority of things. But now that we have the knowledge and the team to support us, I feel like it's a lot easier when we have someone to do it with us, because we feel like, it's a lot faster growth versus trying to do like little things, because now we're looking at things that more impactful to the business versus answering the phone.
Well, now you know that you're building on top of the layers to make a big business versus feeling like you're just stuck doing the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, exactly. Like when we started the business, we thought we're going to be in there forever and just doing the same thing over and over. But now we learned that you have to look at the exit strategy. Like, how can we build the business so then that way we can have, someone like evaluations later on, or, like our exit strategy at the end of the way that we want to go out.
And when you guys are trying to think of ways to grow, and then you get on and you say, hey, we're thinking of doing this, this, and this, and then be able to have myself and the team say, well, think about that, and that,
Yes,
and do this before you do this.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you do it, and you're like, oh my God, thank God we didn't do that other thing, or we might have been in trouble.
Yes, exactly. Which is what our weekly call help us with. Sometimes when something happened and we're like, oh my God, it's so much bigger in our head. But once we put it out there and then you put us in perspective, we're like, okay, yeah, you're right. We should just focus on this.
Well, we certainly love working with you guys, and you've got a great spirit. What a great story too, right? Coming over from Vietnam, and literally, I didn't know the story that you guys there was no oral health,
Right.
and you guys felt insecure and about it, so you decided to do something about it. But then you're like, hey, you know what? We're going to create this for everybody.
Exactly.
That passion, because you were a direct benefactor of the result of going and getting oral health.
Correct.
That passion you bring to everyday people.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how your own journey has inspired you to build a huge business.
Well, growing up, we didn't have much, and we tried to escape, after the war from Vietnam to a better place. And, like I see my parents struggle coming here, not knowing the language, and they older, so they couldn't find job. And I remember helping them, doing like sweatshop, like, cutting and sewing and doing things for a penny at a time, and just like the quantity of the work. And every day my sister and I, we would help my parents with that. And they miss a lot of our, growing up in school and activity where, we get like honor roll, and like the parents of other kids would be there and celebrate with them. And we didn't have that. So I think that, having nothing and then like trying to want more, I feel like it really motivate and inspire me to do more every day, no matter how hard it is. It's just like, okay, well, like I remember how it used to be, so I can't just be lazy and not do anything. I just have to keep going one step at a time, and it just, being committed, showing up, discipline, and I just feel like I want to share that with my patient as well, because, a lot of time people think that they get lazy. That's why they don't take care of their oral health. Like brushing, flossing, people still don't do that. So I just want to share that passion of like what is going to help them with their own life if they just put a little habit of just brushing their teeth, flossing daily, can help them not just for their oral health, but their daily life that will help them to grow as a person.
What do you say to people when you have employees and they tell you like, oh, it's hard, or I'm uncomfortable making phone calls, or I don't want to feel like I have to be in sales even though I'm in a services business, and you listen to people talk about the things that they say are hard.
Yeah.
Do you ever reflect back on what real hard looks like or looked like to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. Because when you compare what the real, truly hard stuff of not having food to eat or clothes to wear, like we recycle our clothes or like we have hand down clothes, that's harder than just doing the work. Like even if you're not good at it, you can learn to be better each day.
And is that how you guys embrace the training and Cardone U and all the programs you're learning? Because you guys are so attentive and you're always there. You're so committed. Are you in this thirst for information and life-changing content so that you can go home and do it and do it with other people?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like, I don't have like good role model growing up. Like, I mean, I have my parents, which they taught us like work ethics and, just doing the right things. But we don't have anyone in business that can show us how to grow the business, how to run the business. So we have to look on, outside, sources like Grant or you, Brandon, or Natalie, like looking for mentor that can help us to grow. So anytime that you guys have content that you put out there that we can apply, like a lot of time it's not directly into our industry of dentistry, but we have to bridge that gap. So then that way we can make it our own. So then that way we can take it back to the business and help ourselves first. So then that way we can lead our team. So that way my team can help our patient and the community.
Yeah, so well said.
Yeah.
I just love you guys. Anybody that's going to listen to this show is going to be like, damn, you just took every excuse from every human being, every business owner when it's hard. You basically just took everybody's excuse away.
Yeah.
Because you explained what hard really is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys made a commitment to go build a business.
Right.
And working with us, you've doubled it in a couple years. So what does that give you guys from a sense of confidence about how successful you can become?
High confidence for sure, but we don't want to stop there.
Yeah.
We want to keep growing and going further.
Yeah. How big do you want to get?
We want to do our goal in 10 years, 50 million revenue a year.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
I think you'll do it sooner than 10
Yes.
years.
We're going to go for it.
Because you guys are so committed and you're so all in and you're so attentive. What's it like to be able to give that gift to your team at home?
It's feel nice when people that we work with, we can share that with them because they have their own struggle. They have their own financial needs, and being able to help them with their personal, professional, and financial goals is huge. Like patients care is so much better for that, and we're able to help more people in the community, and it just life-changing for everyone around.
That's awesome. And you
Yeah.
and your sister are so remarkable.
Thank you.
When you guys are sitting around talking about all the things and you look at your monthly financial statements, do you guys just scratch your head sometimes and like high five and start laughing? What
Yeah.
happens? Tell me.
We look at it and we have like my sister is very driven. So she's always like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? And I'm like right there behind her. But we go out and we celebrate. When we go to conferences, we have a good time and we try to mix like, business with pleasure when we do things. So then that way it's always good when I have her and she has me.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so awesome. And what would you say to all those dentists out there that are doing it the hard way instead of learning to do it the smart way?
That they don't have to do it the hard way and that there's an easier way to do things. And, if you just even want to know what the possibility is out there, there's a lot of different options, but you have to make that decision for yourself. Like I cannot make it for them and you cannot make it for them. They have to want to do more and just take the first step. And if you want to do that, we can help you.
Yeah, you're so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I could talk to you for hours. Just your journey
Yeah.
is a remarkable story.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are your parents still alive?
Yes, they are.
How proud of you guys are they?
Oh my God, they absolutely adore and proud of us. They tell us that every day, but they also have their own limiting belief growing up in Vietnam and being suppressed for so long. So when we told them we're going to open our third location right before COVID, they were like, no, don't do it. It's too risky, But I tell them, like, this is the only way we're going to grow. It's okay, and they would help us to put things in place. I remember our grand opening day, they come, they dress up, they say hi to the people around, so they support all they can. But inside, I know they're really scared for us, and I try to, make them feel at ease and just say, it's okay, we got this. But they always so scared for us because they don't know that there's other way that we can grow, and they just worry for us.
What do you say to people who have a lot of family members that are telling them not to make decisions?
Yeah, sometimes like my parents, they tell us that all the time when we make big decisions. They're like, don't do it. And over time they learn to trust us, that if we say we got it, like, they know that it's going to be a lot of hard work, but we don't mind doing the work.
That's so awesome. There's so many people in the lives of people that we work with, and a lot of them, that are always telling them, stay small. Why do you need more? You don't need to do more. You're lucky where you're at. Or what would you say to those people that have others in their lives telling them not to press to the next level of success?
I think that it's very selfish of you for not wanting to grow or be better than where you are today, because then you are not sharing your gift as being in existing with other people. I mean, I have my son, he's 7 years old, and through this journey so far, like, I have to sometimes not be able to be with him. But he understands that when I'm working, that I'm doing something bigger and better to help other people. And in return, he's part of that journey. So he understands that. And he's only 7 years old.
Yeah, so the obvious conclusion is that adults should figure that out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anybody listening to this or watching it, she has the most incredible laugh, because think about where she came from, and think about what you and your sister are doing, and think about how big your commitment is. Do you have friends from home that look at what you guys do and they're just like, they don't even understand it?
Yes, absolutely, every day. I mean, I have, other female dentists who are mommy dentists, and they're like, wow, like, I have kids. I don't know how you find the time to do all of this, or like, I have other friends in other business are like, where do you find the time to work out and go to work and still be able to do all of this and grow in your business and still wanting to grow more? Like, where do you get that energy? I said, it's something that I want. Like, if my goal is big enough, every day I don't have to worry about going to work or doing the work. It's just I want to be able to get closer to that end goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anybody listening to this, you got to be just listening right now. First of all, you hear that laugh. You got to listen to her story, her and her sister. And you can't help but just sit back and go, after this interview, there are no more excuses.
Truly, yes. No more.
No more excuses. You're such an inspiring person, both you and your sister. And you empower people to do more, think bigger, have more, and be an example. One of the things I heard you clearly state is you feel the obligation of being an example.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have my son, and I want to lead him by being an example, not just by saying things, right? Like, he knows when I get up early, go to work out early, and he's like, Mommy, did you go work out yet? Like, he would keep me accountable. So like, just getting him to understand that there's more in life than just doing the normal average things, that you have to push yourself more, and having him understand that and see that through what I do daily really inspire me to do more every day.
Well, you are definitely inspiring me, and I know every listener to this series is going to be like, I personally think this will be one of the best episodes the B. Dawson Show's ever put out, because you're such a remarkable human.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here and be working with you and your team.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to report back
Yeah.
every year how you guys are absolutely crushing it.
Yes.
Thanks for being on the show with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. I mean, how does it get any more clear than that? From Vietnam to wanting to take care of their own oral hygiene, to starting dental practices, to doubling the size of their business to almost $8 million this year in the last couple years. Incredible human beings. Thank you for joining and listening. Make sure to put some comments down from this episode. Love to read them and reply to them. And thank you for watching another episode of The B. Dawson Show.
Yay.